What's up mga kaguro at mga mag-aaral? Umuli ang inyong online teacher, Sir Franco, para sa panibagong aralin sa General Science. We are now down on our last topic for quarter number 4. And our last topic is about review of natural hazards and disaster risk reduction management or DRRM, from awareness to preparedness. Class, this is our final lesson for General Science. Hindi na ito tungkol sa bagong concepts, kundi sa pag-uugnay ng lahat ng napag-aralan natin. Hazards, risks, preparedness, at responsibility. Ang goal ngayon ay hindi lang ma-recall ang information, kundi magamit ito sa totoong buhay, sa pamilya, at sa komunidad. For this lesson, here are our goals. Mapapansin ninyo na ang objectives ay action-based, design, develop, and evaluate. Ibig sabihin, ang science ay hindi lang pang-exam, kundi pang-tunay na buhay. Let us now start our lesson with the review of natural hazards. First, we have the geological hazards. There are different types of geological hazards. It includes earthquake, volcanic eruptions, tsunami, landslide, lahar, and we also have sinkhole and ground subsidence. Geological hazards ay galing sa galaw ng lupa at ng mga bato. Madalas biglaan at walang warning ang mga ito kaya mataas ang risk kung hindi handa ang komunidad. Geological as well as hydrometeorological hazards are part of our country's reality bilang bansa na nasa Pacific Ring of Fire at tinatamaan ng maraming bagyo taon-taon. These hazards are natural processes but they become dangerous when they affect people, homes, and livelihoods. Mahalaga na maintindihan natin hindi lang ano ang mga hazards na ito, kundi paano sila nakakaapekto sa buhay ng mga tao. When we talk about geological hazards tulad ng earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, landslides, at tsunamis, these are caused by movements beneath the Earth's surface. Hindi natin sila kayang pigilan, pero maaari nating bawasan ang pinsalang dulot nila sa pamamagitan ng tamang kaalaman at paghahanda. Quick review lang tayo kung ano nga ba ang mga nature ng mga geological hazards. Earthquake is the sudden ground shaking. Volcanic eruption includes hot ash, lava, and gas. Tsunami are giant sea waves. Landslide are soil and rocks that move downfall or downward. Lahar are mud flow from volcano. Sinkhole, sudden ground collapse. And subsidence, gradual sinking of land. Each hazard has unique effects, pero pare-pareho silang delikado kapag may tao at kabuhayan na apektado. Next, we have the hydrometeorological hazards. Ito naman ay weather and water-related hazards. Sa Pilipinas, mas madalas natin itong nararanasan, kaya mas malaga ang preparedness. Hydrometeorological hazards tulad ng typhoon, flood, storm surge, droughts, and tornadoes are related to weather and climate. Sa Pilipinas, madalas natin itong nararanasan kaya hindi na ito dapat ikinagugulat. Dapat ito ay pinaghahandaan. Let's take a quick rundown of the description of each hazard. Typhoon includes strong winds plus rain. Flood is the water that covers dry land. Storm surge, seawater that is pushed inland due to a strong wind or existing typhoon or weather disturbance. Monsoon is seasonal heavy rain. Drought is the long dry period. And tornado is the spinning funnel of wind. Hindi lahat ng hazard ay pare-pareho ang epekto. Ang baha ay madalas sa low-lying areas, ang storm surge naman ay sa coastal zones. Now, let's study the hazard risk vulnerability framework. It was also introduced in our previous topic. A very important idea we learned is this. Hazards do not automatically become disasters. A hazard only turns into a disaster when it affects people who are exposed and vulnerable. Kaya nga 'di ba may key formula tayo. Risk is equal to hazard multiplied to the exposure and vulnerability. Ibig sabihin, kailangan na hindi lamang hazard ang ating tingnan. Kasi kahit malakas ang hazard, kung handa naman ang komunidad, mas kaunti lang ang magiging pinsala. Pero kahit mahina ang hazard, kung mahina naman ang bahay, walang babala at walang plano, malaki pa rin ang magiging risk. Halimbawa, isang heatwave, kung ang exposed ay farmers na nagtatrabaho sa bukid at walang access sa tubig o pahinga, mataas ang risk ng heat exhaustion at crop failure. Dito natin makikita na risk is not about fear, it is about preparedness. Hindi pare-pareho ang epekto ng bawat hazards. A typhoon may cause flooding and landslide, while a heat wave may not destroy houses but can silently threaten lives through dehydration and illness. Kaya mahalaga na matutunan natin na i-compare ang risk, hindi lang kabisaduhin ang hazard. This helps us to think critically. Sino ang maapektuhan? Ano ang mawawala? At paano ito may iwasan? Now, let's now move to the next part of our lesson, understanding DRRM. DRRM, or Disaster Risk Reduction Management, is a systematic approach to understanding, reducing, and managing the risk caused by disasters. Hindi lang ito tungkol sa pag-respond. Kapag may sakuna na, dapat tayo ay mahalaga na maiwasan at magkaroon ng paghahanda bago pa ito mangyari. DRRM helps communities move from being reactive to being proactive. Sa madaling salita, DRRM asks the question, ano ang pwede nating gawin ngayon para mas kaunti ang masasaktan bukas? Ang DRRM ay hindi lang response pagkatapos ng disaster. Ito ay ginagawa bago, habang at pagkatapos ng hazardous event. Meron tayong DRRM cycle na tinatawag at ito ay kinabibilangan ng mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Ang DRRM cycle ay hindi straight line. Kapag natapos ang recovery, babalik tayo sa mitigation para mas maging handa sa susunod na disaster. The DRRM cycle shows that disaster management is a continuous process, not a one-time action. At may apat nga nagyugto ito, mitigation, preparedness, response, at recovery. Hindi ito linear. After recovery, we go back to mitigation and preparedness again. Pinapakita nito na ang goal ng DRRM ay hindi lang makabangon, kundi mas maging handa at mas matibay sa susunod na hazard. Let's run down each cycle steps. First is the mitigation. Mitigation refers to long-term actions that reduce damage even before a disaster happens. Halimbawa, mangrove planting and strong building design. These actions protect lives even when we are not present. Mitigation ay ginagawa bago pa dumating ang hazard. Ito ang pinaka-cost-effective stage ng DRRM. Second is preparedness. Preparedness is about readiness, having plans, drills, early warning systems, at go-bags. Ito ang yugto kung saan sinasabi natin, handa na kami. Preparedness saves lives. Kahit malakas ang hazard, kung handa ang tao, mas mababa ang casualties at damages brought about disasters. Third is response. Response is about speed and coordination. Dito mahalaga ang training at clear roles. Response happens during and immediately after a disaster. Dito pumapasok ang rescue, evacuation, first aid, at relief operations. And lastly, we have recovery. Recovery is not just physical. Kasama rito ang emotional at economic recovery ng komunidad. Recovery is the long journey after the disaster, rebuilding homes, restoring livelihoods, and healing emotional trauma. Sapagkat hindi lang ito physical rebuilding, kundi pagbangon bilang komunidad. Next, what are the ERS or Emergency Response Systems? Emergency response is not just a simple response, it has an anatomy. It includes warning, evacuation, rescue, medical care, and relief distribution. Emergency response is a coordinated effort. Hindi pwedeng kanya-kanya. Emergency response is made up of many connected parts that must work together. Kabilang dito ang warning systems, evacuation, search and rescue, medical response, relief distribution, at coordinations. Kung hinsa lang ang pumalya, halimbawa walang malinaw na communication, maantala ang buong response. Kaya mahalaga ang malinaw na roles, training at coordination bago pa man mangyari ang disaster. Triage. Sa emergencies, hindi pwedeng lahat gamutin agad. Triage helps that saves the most lives. Triage is the process of prioritizing victims based on the severity of their injuries. Sa panahon ng disaster, hindi lahat pwedeng gamutin o bigyang pansin agad. Kaya kailangang unahin ang may pinakamalaking tsansang mabuhay kung maagapan. Mahirap itong desisyonan emotionally, pero necessary ito para makapagsalba ng mas maraming buhay. Pinapakita nito na disaster response requires not only compassion but also critical thinking. We also have incident command system. Dapat sa isang lugar o sa isang grupo, sa isang institusyon, merong tinatatag na incident command system or ICS. It is a standardized ways of organizing people during emergencies. May malinaw na leader, chain of command at roles para maiwasan ang kalituhan. Kahit gaano karami ang responders, police, firefighters, medics, iisa lang ang sistema ng pamumuno. This ensures faster decisions, better coordination, and safer operations. ICS ensures na malinaw kung sino ang leader, kung sino ang responders, at kung sino ang support. Next, we have training, drills, and awareness. Emergency response training equips people with the skills needed before a disaster happens. This includes first aid, basic life support, evacuation procedures, at communication protocols. Kapag may training ang isang tao, mas kalmado at mas epektibo siyang kikilos sa gitna ng crisis. Training turns ordinary citizens into first responders. Why training matters? Training builds confidence. Kapag alam mo ang gagawin, mas kalmado ka sa disaster. Training is not only for professionals, it is for everyone. Mapa students, teachers, parents, and even barangay members all benefit from regular training. Ang kaalaman na ito ay maaaring hindi agad magamit, pero kapag dumating ang sakuna, ito ang magiging sandigan. As the saying goes, the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in emergencies. Conduct of emergency drill. Emergency drills simulate real disaster scenarios so people know what to do under pressure. Through drills, natutuklasan kung saan may kahinaan ng plano. Halimbawa, mabagal na evacuation o hindi malinaw na instructions. Drills build muscle memory and confidence. Kapag totoong disaster na, mas mabilis at mas maayos ang kilos. Conduct of emergency drills identify weaknesses and improve speed of responding in a disaster. Drills are simulations. Mistakes during drills prevent mistakes during real disasters. Drills should be done regularly, not just once. Diba nga, meron tayong tinatawag na nationwide simultaneous earthquake drill which is done quarterly. Dahil habang inuulit ang drills, mas nagiging pamilyar ang mga tao sa evacuation routes, meeting points, at safety procedures. Hindi ito pananakot, ito ay practice for survival. Communities that drill together respond better together. We should also learn to analyze disaster news. Analyzing disaster news helps learners connect classroom lessons to real-life events. Sa pamamagitan ng balita, nakikita natin kung anong hazards ang madalas mangyari at sino ang pinaka-apektado. It also helps identify what went wrong and what was done right. News becomes a learning tool, not just information source. Learning from real disaster helps improve future preparedness. That's why disaster news analysis encourages critical thinking. Instead of just asking anong nangyari, we ask bakit ito nangyari at ano ang pwedeng ginawa para mabawasan ang pinsala. This builds awareness that disasters are not random, they are influenced by preparedness, planning, and governance. Part 5: Family and Community Preparedness. A family must make a preparedness plan. A family preparedness plan is not about fear, it's about love and responsibility. When a family prepares, they're saying, mahal namin ang isa't isa at ayaw naming may papahamak. This will include preparing of emergency contacts and meeting points. It also includes preparation of go-backs and familiarizing with evacuation routes. Primary preparedness are the first line of defense in disasters. Knowing evacuation routes, emergency contacts, and roles during disasters can save precious minutes and sometimes lives. Kahit simpleng paano, basta malinaw at napag-usapan, malaking tulong na. Preparing go bag. Go bag includes ready-to-eat food, drinking water, clothes, sleeping bags, first aid kit, and with treatments for fever, LBM, wounds, and maintenance medicine. It also includes items for infants, children, and elderly members of the family. Important documents, cash and coins, phone, charger, power bank, radio with batteries, rope or newspaper, flashlight, candles, matches, and whistles. Eco bags should also be stored properly. Check the contents every 3 months and replace items that are about to expire. Store your go bag where it's easy to find and access. Emergency kit. So the go bag must also contain emergency kit, which was also presented earlier, and this should last at least 7 to 2 hours. Family communication plan. Communication prevents panic and community confusion. This must include who to contact, how to communicate, and backup methods. Hazards mapping. This includes identification of high-risk zones and safe areas. Hazards mapping identifies areas that are prone to specific hazards such as floods, landslides, or storm surge. It helps communities decide where it's safe to build houses, schools, and evacuation centers. Maps turn abstract risk into visible information. Kapag alam mo kung saan pang panganib, mas may kapangyarihan kang umiwas dito. Maps guide planning and evacuation decisions. Early warning system. An early warning system provides timely information so people can act before a disaster strikes. It can include sirens, text alerts, weather bulletins, and community announcements. Early warning saves lives by giving people time to evacuate, prepare, and protect. Sa DRRM, minutes matters, and warnings create those minutes. Early warning saves people lives if responded correctly. Community-based DRRM plan includes stakeholders and their important roles during a disaster. Disaster do not affect families alone, they affect the entire communities. Kaya mahalaga ang community-based DRRM kung saan bawat sektor may papel, barangay officials, health workers, youth, teachers, at volunteers. A community-based DRRM plan is designed by the people for the people. It identifies local hazards, vulnerable groups, available resources, and roles of stakeholders. Dahil galing mismo ang komunidad, ang plano, mas realistic at mas sinusunod ito. CBDRRM empowers communities to take ownership of their safety. The CBDRRM must include resources, timeline, and coordination. Community preparedness is stronger than individual action alone. CBDRRM teaches us that resilience is built together. Kapag nagtutulungan ang komunidad, mas mabilis ang babala, mas maayos ang paglikas, at mas matibay ang pagbangon. CBDRRM emphasizes collaboration between barangay officials, health workers, teachers, youth, and volunteers working together. Hindi sapat ang plano kung hindi ito naiintindihan at sinusuportahan ng lahat. A strong CBDRRM plan breeds trust, coordination, and resilience. Kapag handa ang komunidad, mas kaunti ang nagiging biktima. And that's it for our long discussion about DRRM planning and preparedness. Now let's move to the activities, performance tasks, and assessment. Activity 1, Review of Hazards. Answer the following questions briefly but substantially. Activity 2, Anatomy of an Emergency Response. So you will create a concept map and you will write emergency response in the center. Brainstorm and draw branches for key actions before, during, and after any hazard. Add notes like early warning, evacuation planning, first aid, and damage assessment. Activity 3, Home and Family Preparedness. So list emergency tasks for geological hazards and hydrometeorological hazards that can be done for your family. For your performance tasks, from awareness to action, family and community disaster preparedness plan. So you will create a CBDRRM plan. You will apply what you learn about natural disasters and DRRM. So you will create either of the two, family preparedness plan or CBDRRM plan, using an infographic or poster, digital slides, or short video about it. For option A, this must include identified hazards in your area, family communication plan, evacuation routes and meeting points, emergency kit checklist, and role of each family member. If you will choose community-based DRRM plan, it must include hazard mapping of the community, vulnerable groups, stakeholder roles, early warning and communication system, and timeline before, during, and after a disaster. Here is the rubric that will be used to grade your output. Now let's move to the summative test. 1. Which statement best explains the difference between a hazard and a disaster? C. Hazards become disaster when they affect people. 2. Which is a geological hazard? C. Earthquake. 3. Which hazard is caused by seasonal winds bringing long rains? D. Monsoon. 4. What does DRRM stand for? D. Disaster Risk Reduction and Management. 5. Which phase focuses on actions before a disaster happens? C. Mitigation. 6. Which is an example of preparedness? B. Emergency drills. 7. What is the purpose of an emergency go bag? C. Immediate survival needs. 8. Who is actually most vulnerable during disasters? C. Children and elderly. 9. What is hazard mapping used for? B. Identifying high-risk areas. 10. Which hazard mainly affects coastal communities during typhoons? B. Storm surge. 11. What is a triage? D. Prioritizing injured victims. 12. Which system organizes emergency responders? C. Incident command system. 13. Which phase comes after response? C. Recovery. 14. Why are emergency drills important? B. To practice correct actions. 15. Which shows good family preparedness? C. Clear evacuation plan. 16. What does an early warning system provide? C. Time to prepare. 17. Which hazard is a fast spinning funnel of wind? C. Tornado. 18. Which action best shows mitigation? B. Planting mangroves. 19. CBDRRM is important because B. Communities knows local risks best. And 20. Which statement best reflects responsible citizenship? C. Preparing before disasters. For your reflection, answer the following questions. We also have a reflection that is completion type and a reflection that will serve as a creative output. Now, let's proceed to synthesis and closing, fourth quarter, and the whole subject. It is important to know that disasters are not natural. Hazards are natural. Disasters happen when hazards meet vulnerability. Preparedness reduces disaster impact. This quarter focused on Earth, hazards, and preparedness, science that directly affects survival. This quarter, we did not just study hazards, maps, charts, and plans. We studied life, how fragile it can be, and how strong it becomes when people are prepared. Natutuhan natin na ang disasters ay hindi lamang natural. They are shaped by choices. Choices to prepare, to care, to act early, and to protect one another. Kung may isang baon kayo mula sa quarter na ito, sana ito yon. Science is not just about knowledge, it is responsibility. Responsibility to ourselves, our families, and our communities. Throughout this subject, we explored the Earth, life, climate, energy, hazards, and human actions. We learned that everything is connected: nature and people, science and society, knowledge and action. General science taught us that understanding the world is only the first step. The real challenge is using what we know to make better decisions, to protect life, and to build a future that is safer and more sustainable. As you move forward, remember this: you are not just learners of science, you are future decision makers, protectors of life, and builders of resilient communities. And if someday you are faced with a difficult situation, whether a disaster, crisis, or a challenge, may you remember that science has already taught you how to think, how to prepare, and how to care. As we end general science, remember, science empowers us to make better decisions for ourselves, our families, and our communities. Science is not only about understanding the world, it is about protecting lives and building resilient communities. Once again, thanks to the development team kung saan ibinase ang lesson na ito. Once again, I'm your online teacher, Sir Franco. Thank you for watching.